Hey guys, so I'm here with that Q&A that I said I would do like a month ago, but I kind of forgot to do it. But it's okay because I got a lot of questions when posting about it the second time, and so that's what I am answering now, is all of the questions. First, I'm going to be taking the questions that I got off of my Patreon page, and the first one, which have a couple to them, is from Black Hill Zone. I think I said that right. What did you make to start cosplay? So the first cosplay that I cosplayed that got me started in cosplay, I didn't make. It was Juliet Sterling, and I purchased that one off eBay. But I guess the first one that I made, or at least made part of, was Nurse Akali from League of Legends. What was your favorite character and why? I was also asked this same question by Eric Payne Smithers off of Amino. It's probably Widowmaker, even though it was like the most uncomfortable to wear, just because she's like one of my favorite characters. Wait, I just thought of one I think that might actually top it. It's probably Yang from Ruby.
And I didn't make that one. That one was given to me with I make costumes. But Yang is one of my favorite characters like ever. I was just so excited to finally get to cosplay her, and that was like my favorite version of her as well. So
I'm gonna have to go with Yang, I think. What was your most difficult cosplay to make? And this was also asked by The Familiar Strange on Instagram. My most difficult cosplay to make was by far Widowmaker, just because with her I had to learn so many different things.
I had never made a bodysuit before, and then her bodysuit on top of being a bodysuit was also kind of weirdly and complicated and oddly shaped, so I didn't know how to do it. And then I had never worked with lighting before either, like rigging my own, or made a gun prop and then have to also rig lighting through that. So everything I did, I had to like completely learn.
Have you some plans to come to Europe conventions? Not at the moment, because that's like on the other side of the world. Someday I would really love to go to Europe conventions.
Hey guys, so you're seeing this right now, like me not in my Supergirl costume, because it's a bit later when I'm editing this, and I realized there are a couple of questions, like parts of them that I skipped. I didn't mean to skip, for some reason I didn't see them. So I'm answering those real fast.
Who was your favorite cosplayer, male/female? There's a lot of amazing cosplayers and a lot that I really like, but I guess my favorite female cosplayer would be Kinpatsu cosplay. Like,
all of her stuff is always super incredible and amazing, and she just seems like a really nice person.
My favorite male cosplayer is Jets cosplay. I don't know how you pronounce it. I assume it's kind of pronounced like Jets.
But his costumes, once again, always amazing. His Zarya was like the most like incredible thing I've ever seen, and like the gun that he made for it, where it lights up and it like spins, the one part on it like spins from, I don't know, he had a video showing how he did it, and I'm just like, oh my god, I wish I knew mechanics like that.
What cosplay are you most excited for from the ones you're planning? From like any of the ones I have planned, it's Zagara, because that's like my dream cosplay, but I don't know how soon that's going to happen. But from ones that I actually have possible and I know are coming up soon, it's probably the Taronda and Sylvanas cosplay that I'm making. Sylvanas for a friend, and then I'm going to be the other elf lady with her, and I just said elf lady because I don't want to butcher her name again. And we are doing the Heroes of the Storm version. And now the other question off of Patreon was from Grant Robinson. Oh, he has two. What's the best and worst thing about cosplaying? Start off with the best. The best is probably the community and fellow cosplayers.
It's a very social environment where you know everyone has the same or similar interests to you, and they're typically all really friendly. At least all the ones I met so far, or most of them, have been incredibly friendly and welcoming and helpful, and so it's just this nice little
community. The worst thing about it is probably how expensive it can be, and then some of the negative sides of the community, which I find
aren't actually from the community. They're usually people who are on sites that post up more than just cosplay, but like when they post a cosplay, they'll comment on it, but they have no interest in cosplay or the cosplay community and don't cosplay themselves or aren't a fan of it, and they typically post like the troll comments or the really mean comments.
What was the hardest thing for you when you started out, was his second question. So finding out the basics of everything was probably the hardest part, because there's a lot of tutorials out there, but there's not a lot on the very basic stat, and learning to work with power tools, just because those can be a little scary, and I don't like heat things, so I was like terrified of using a heat gun the first time. Now from Facebook, I have Carlos D. Gonzalez. Which of the male heroes from Overwatch would you choose as your husbando, and why? I would say Widowmaker, but I don't think she counts as a husband. So since I can't pick Widowmaker, because she's technically a female, and I think that'd make her wife rather than husband, I'm probably going to have to go with McCree because he has the best facial hair. He's probably the closest to my type. Other thing from Facebook, what got you started with cosplay? Games, anime, cartoons, video games, specifically League of Legends. That is what got me interested in cosplay, even though it wasn't my first one.
I had made an Ari costume the year before I started cosplaying, I believe, which got me interested in actually cosplaying.
Another comment from Facebook was, or question from Facebook was Cody Sims, and that question is, was there a time when you thought you just couldn't do a cosplay because it got too hard? Yes, that happens like all the time. It happened when I was making Marauder Ash because I'd never done full body armor before. And I was just, before even starting, I was like, I don't know if I can do this because I have no idea what I'm doing. And as I was making it, there were still parts that I thought were fairly intimidating or confusing. So I was like, I don't know if I can finish this. So now here are some of the questions I got off of Instagram. To Kate818 asked, how tall are you? I am 5 foot. I'm very short. Fit Hair Check says, your page rocks. It's not a question, but thank you. Brian_Albos ask, would you rather have a Ferrari US8 or a Nissan GTR? And I'm not a car person, so I have no idea what either of those are. I guess I'll say Ferrari because that's the only one I recognize. Off of Cosplay Amino, Blitz asked, favorite materials for making props, and those are EVA foam and insulation foam board because I find those the easiest to work with and they are fairly cheap. Tips for styling wigs. So I'm not incredibly good at styling wigs. It's not like something I always remember to spend a lot of time on, or it doesn't turn out really well. Like most of my wigs are pre-styled.
I guess my tips are the usual tips where you use a lot of hairspray. I actually prefer to use glue, like Elmer's glue and stuff, if I need like spikes. And then if you cut it at a jagged edge, like cut little, yeah, make it jaggedy rather than just like straight across, cut like this. Because if you cut it straight across, it looks really fake.
And Eric Payne Smithers had another question other than just the what's your favorite cosplay you've done. How do you feel about variations on characters?
Assume you mean like the gender bends and taking like animal characters and making human, or I don't know, sexy cosplays, casual versions of them.
Assuming that, I mean, it's fine. I don't really have an opinion. I think you can do what you want because cosplay is for fun, and I mean, I do that all the time. I've
humanified characters before, like Nar, and then I've gender bend characters before, like Jace. So my feelings about that are just, do you have fun?
This is a bit personal for me as I have tattoos. Do you feel tattoos and piercings ruin a cosplay or enhance it, or no effect? So I have tattoos as well. I only have 2 small ones here and here.
But I'm getting a larger piece done that will take up my entire forearm pretty soon, as well as a couple finger ones also pretty soon.
I don't think they ruin a cosplay. I don't know if they always enhance them though. I think it depends on the character. There are some characters that having tattoos would be really fitting for, so it's like, well, it fits the character anyways. And there are some characters that having tattoos would be like, I don't ever think that character would have tattoos, but I don't necessarily think it ruins it either.
I personally always choose to cover my tattoo or Photoshop them out of photos later just because I like the accuracy of it, but I don't see anything wrong. And there's one cosplayer that I really love that always has her tattoos out in all of her cosplays, and that is Alex Coletti, I think that's how you pronounce her name.
Off of DeviantArt. Ganguro666, what is your favorite part of the cosplay process? I guess my favorite part would probably be making just armor and props. I like working with like foam, so anything that revolves around that, which is what my armor and props are usually made out of, hence why I said that. Our post 61 says next con appearance. So there's one coming up at the end of October, but I don't know if this video is going to be up by then or not. If it isn't, that convention was or is Annie Me PokeCon. NinDK Sketch asked, what was the most enjoyable experience you had when cosplaying? There are 2 that I really enjoy, and they are overall conventions. I really liked Summoners Con because I was really social at that convention, and I made some good friends that also cosplay, and all the guests were really interactive with people, and you could actually like meet the guests like just out and about at the con.
And so I met a lot of the people that are popular in the League community, like players and YouTubers and stuff.
And then I also liked Classic Comic Con 2016 that I went to just recently, and that is for very similar reasons. I was a guest for that convention and I was treated extremely well, and I got to meet a bunch of people, like other guests and a lot of fans and just other fellow cosplayers, and I made some really good friends there too.
I was fairly social, which is a big thing for me because typically I'm extremely shy and quiet and meek.
NinDK Sketch also asked, what is your favorite movie, anime, or TV series? Favorite anime is Fullmetal Alchemist. My favorite movie is Repo the Genetic Opera. And I don't know if I really have a favorite TV series because I don't watch too much TV. I'll watch what pops up on Netflix, so I've enjoyed like Doctor Who and Once Upon a Time. I really liked Gilmore Girls and Scrubs because they're funny. And then the last one is How Are You So Awesome? And I don't know, but thank you. Mr. Wonderworks asked, can you do Widowmaker Morris? I'm not good with French words, and that is on my planned cosplays, but I don't know how soon I'm going to get to it.
At the moment, I have many other Overwatch cosplays planned for up until Halloween next year, including Diva, Imp Mercy and Halloween Mercy, Reaper, Sombra, and Bosch Tracer. So once I get those out of the way, I might look into doing that.
Versat Ursus Actos. I'm pretty sure I absolutely butchered that. I'm so sorry. Because they ask, where do you draw your inspiration from? I'm not sure. I guess I get inspired to make a costume just because I really either like the character or I really like the design and it's a project that I want to tackle. Comic Brooks ask, when did you decide that cosplay was what you wanted to do? Also, how long have you done it for? P.S. Why are you so good at this? After the first Anime Expo is when I really, my first Anime Expo is when I really decided that I wanted to cosplay and started like creating costumes, and I wanted to go to the Anime Expo next year and just all that jazz. That's when I really decided that. And I've been officially cosplaying since that Anime Expo, which was AX 2013, and that was 3 years ago.
I don't know how good I am, but I've always just been creative and good at most artsy things, just naturally, because I think I get it. I don't know, is that stuff genetic? Because I'm pretty sure it's genetic. It's kind of in my family a little bit. So, I mean, my mom's a tattoo artist, and then my grandpa did a bunch of porcelain work. He does that, and then my grandma knitted and sewed stuff. So, some of the reason why I'm good at it. I was in theater, so I helped with costumes, and then I just like sewing in general on my free time and learned how to sew-ish. Learned how to sew as best as I could back then in high school. I would sew like random things. So I guess practice makes perfect.
From Category TV, I did an interview with her. What's something about cosplaying you wish you would have known sooner? I think for that it was just a lot of the basic things and proper names for things. We all kind of in the cosplay community call insulation foam boards pink insulation foam, so for like the longest time when I was trying to look for it, I didn't know what I was looking for because there's a lot of different types of insulation foam. I think in general I would have wished I knew about cosplay and just cosplaying a lot sooner than I did.
Because I didn't really find out about cosplay until I was in college, or like late high school, but mostly college, and I didn't really start cosplaying until I was like in the middle of college, so.
Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for giving me questions and stuff so that this video was even possible in the first place.
I hope this video wasn't too long. I just wanted to include everyone's questions since it's not like an overwhelming amount. My answers may have made it just long enough.
If you want to ask me questions for whenever I do a next Q&A, you can leave them in the comments of this video.
And I will come back to this video before making that to see if there were any questions left for me, or just keep a lookout on one of my social media pages, which are all down below in the description box.
If you guys enjoy Q&As, let me know through liking this video or just leaving a comment saying, hey, I really like Q&As, do more of them, and I will do more of them. Thanks for watching, guys.
By the way, as you haven't noticed, I didn't make my Supergirl cosplay. Bye!
Have a lovely day.